My room was full of puppies and kittens and animals and forests. And in this transitional period, I also knew that puppies and kittens weren't cool, that like Kurt Cobain was. So then I had this huge poster of Kurt Cobain, and at the bottom it just said, "I hate myself and I want to die." And I was 13. I knew that diaries were where girls wrote down like all the important events in their life. I had this one journal that I was saving for when something really exciting happened. And so I knew that what I wrote in that journal would have to be in really good handwriting and like really important. Stuart was a boy, Stuart W. I don't know why I had to say W because he was the only Stuart I knew. He wore like oversized t-shirts and baggy shorts that went below his knees and had this kind of grungy attitude. I don't think he skateboarded, but he could have skateboarded. The first time I met Stuart was not an accident. He and his brother were like walking through the neighborhood. So I took my unicycle and just kind of like casually unicycled around the neighborhood.
Come to me, my love. Let me swing forevermore.
He was like, hey, hey. After that, we were fast friends. I remember we used to like put his little brother up against a brick wall and like throw tennis balls at him. Water balloon fights. And we used to stash Victoria's Secret magazines in the bushes. I didn't realize like I was in the friend zone. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get Victoria's Secret magazines because that's what he wants to do, and I support him. That was the year that we kind of like diagnosed my mom with alcoholism. It was really bad. Honestly, when I think about that time, I just have like a visual of my mom like lying on the floor, and then just like, you know, whenever I found her like that, I would just go and check to make sure she was alive. And that's kind of like all I cared about. Like, is she alive? Okay, like get on with my day. I just remember being a kid and knowing that people forgot stuff. Like I knew that as an adult, I would forget the things that happened to me when I was a kid. And I wanted to remember this childhood that I didn't have. So I just started reimagining these stories with Stuart, and I wrote them down in my journal. Stuart W. kissed me for 5 seconds today. Stuart showed me his snakes today. Stuart said he wants to run away with me. Stuart wants to take me out of my house. It was never like, Stuart wishes that you had enough health insurance to send your mom to a rehab facility. Because at the time, I don't think I really thought about it in those terms. I just thought of like, I just want to get out of here.
1, 2, 3.
Kissing a boy for 5 seconds was like a more normal childhood than what I was going through. I don't know how I knew it wasn't normal anymore, but at some point I knew that my mom wasn't normal anymore. I knew I wanted to remember something else.